Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, elections were held and the results are in for next year's SGA Executive Board and class senators. Out of those elections, there was some history made when it comes to the new Madam President-elect.
And Earth Week kicked off on the 17th and will run until Earth Day, sponsored by the Students for Environmental Action.
Plus a spotlight on a local favorite eatery that boasts different comfort foods.
All that and more on the Q30 Newscast. Welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Lo Yarnell, one of your hosts tonight for the first and last time.
And I'm Khalesia Smith, here for my last time on the news desk. And as always, it was a busy week in Hamden and Quinnipiac communities. So kicking it off with a big announcement from the Student Government Association. After holding elections this past Tuesday and 585 undergraduate votes casted, the results are in for the 2022-2023 HGA Executive Board. The elects are as follows. The new president will be Owane Roberts. Vice President is Kay Oalabe. Vice President of Operations is Jacob Sedor, and Vice President of Inclusion is Jamie Seltzler. And finally, the Vice President of Public Relations is Jackie Babiak. Congratulations to you all. As far as the other electees for class positions, all have been filled from the President down to the Senators for the class of 2025 and 2024. But for the class of 2023, there were only able to fill the President position, whom will be Caitlin Gorham, as the other four open senator spots were not ran for and are currently vacant. There will be an opportunity to fill those positions during the fall elections.
On Monday night, the SGA candidates in the running gathered in the Piazza for Candidate Town Hall, where they were questioned by SGA and Q30 about their campaigns. Hefzibah Rajan with more.
Candidates for SGA's executive board took the podium Monday for the candidate town hall to discuss their campaign and priorities to help better the student body. One of the major topics addressed was the relationship between the student body and their representatives.
I believe that our organization does not have a good enough relationship with our fellow students. I aim to fix this relationship, as it is vital that students feel comfortable coming to us with their concerns and feedback.
Some keywords that were mentioned during the night included parking, dining, and campus unity. Increasing diversity is another initiative that was discussed.
I would love to increase the candidate pool and diversity in elections. I think that every student here should have the opportunity to vote for someone they identify with culturally, any other forms of identity as well.
They were asked how they planned on improving the low retention rate in SGA.
As the current vice president for the organization, there's a lot of concern around the retention of members in the organization and the recruitment of members into the organization.
And everyone had a variation of answers.
I would like to just show students that SGA is fun. At our core, we're just students who are trying to make these positive changes on campus.
Some of them felt that making the student government look more personable would help increase their membership numbers.
Just getting to meet more people from all different organizations or people who aren't currently in any organizations, talking to them about SGA and making them feel as though the members of SGA are people they can come to.
While being a part of the student government is hard work, newly elected SGA President Owane Roberts feels that the organization should emphasize how rewarding the work is.
I believe because SGA is a huge org on campus and we do so much for campus, I believe students should know. A lot of students believe SGA is just hard work, and yes it is, but it's very rewarding hard work, and it's an amazing org to be a part of. And yes, it's work, but it's an amazing opportunity to connect with students and hear their voices and actually do things that benefit them.
For Q30 News, I'm Hefzibah Rajan.
With candidates for every executive board position in running unopposed, every candidate was asked the same question at the town hall regarding SGA's retention rate. SGA has historically had the problem of students dropping out of leadership roles. With the results finally announced, there is also not enough senators running to fill all of the positions. Hefzibah Rajan spoke with SGA President Nick Ciampanelli to learn about why the organization's returning numbers are so low.
The low retention rate around SGA, I think, isn't something unique to our organization. It's something a lot of other student organizations are seeing amongst their own executive boards and general boards. And we believe that's largely because of the effect of the pandemic. So while we do have that higher time commitment, the adjustment being in person again in a post-pandemic world has certainly taken a toll on individuals.
With the newly elected SGA president, Owane Roberts, comes history being made as she is the first Black international female president to hold this position. In light of this achievement, we have Katie Cohen to dive deeper into our Madam President.
The Student Government Association on campus has elected a new president after elections on Tuesday, Owane Roberts. Roberts is a first-year international student from Bermuda who got involved with SGA when she came to campus.
Being part of SGA has really sculpted my college experience to make me a better college student. I'm better at time management. I'm very involved on campus. I meet people every day. I was very, I want to say, not shy, but I really just keep to myself. But being part of SJA has allowed me to go out there and interact, listen to people, meet with administrators, and actually make a change and a difference on campus that matters to the student body.
After being the vice president of finance and a multicultural and identity senator, she's now the president of SGA. Roberts is only 18 years old, but does not think her age limits her abilities.
And me being younger means I think I'm more creative and I'm more passionate. Because most presidents, they're graduating. They say they care about how they leave the SGA, but do they really? I'm young. I really do care about how I leave SGA, and I'm not leaving because then I'm going to get my master's. I'm still going to be here.
Along with being the youngest SGA president, she's the first international student to take on this position in at least 12 years.
And it's an amazing honor and opportunity to be able to be the first international student to serve as the Student Government Association president. And I believe it's a great way to show students that are international students hey, you can come from a small country, you can come from an underdeveloped country, but that doesn't mean you can't make a difference and you can't join an organization to be the president and do amazing things.
As president, she wants to focus on the important issues of parking, dining, and campus unity.
My main goals are to fix the major and minor campus issues they have with the campus, as well as campus unity. Those are huge goals, I do understand that, but I want to be known as the president that actually fights for this.
For Q30 News, I'm Katie Cohen.
Now with the new week comes new possible COVID cases, and with that, let's take a look at how COVID is doing amongst the Bobcat community. For this week's dashboard data, there is a total of 12 current active cases on campus, and there has been a total of 19 new cases within the last 7 days. As the semester is coming to an end and springtime is here, let us all continue to be diligent and stay safe, but continue to keep up the good work. With minimal cases on campus, Hampden and the state is still reporting a number of cases. As of April 13th, there are 83 cases across Hampden as the town remains in a red zone. Across Connecticut, 4,604 positive PSR cases have been reported in the past 7 days, according to the Connecticut Department of Health.
Throughout the month of April, Alcohol Awareness Month helps Americans understand the causes and treatment of one of the nation's largest public health crises. According to the 2019 report from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, 14.5 million people ages 12 and older had alcohol use disorder. And alcohol abuse remains an issue at college campuses, with the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism estimating about 1,519 college students from the ages of 18 to 24 are dying from alcohol-related unintentional injuries. Students can go to the Office of Counseling on campus for guidance if they feel they're struggling with alcohol abuse.
Every year, the School of Engineering and Computing hosts their annual hard hat ceremony to honor their second-year students for their accomplishments. With that, they also receive commemorative stickers to represent other accomplishments like academics, leadership, etc. This year, Gina Greco won multiple stickers. Her hard hat now has every single Greek letter on it, which makes her the first student to have done so, which is something Gina has always wished for.
Freshman year, I would see the hard hat and the trophy case, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Maybe one day I'll have all of them. But I didn't realize how involved it is to get every sticker and all of the different things that you had to do. So I'm definitely proud of it.
Quinnipiac's Department of Cultural and Global Engagement announced its final event of the spring semester. Tomorrow, a conversation on diffusing implicit bias and interrupting stereotypes and microaggressions will take place from 1 to 3 p.m. in Carl Hansen Student Center, room 120. The event invites the Quinnipiac community to engage in meaningful conversations about how implicit bias, stereotypes, and microaggressions affect daily interactions. Participants will have the opportunity to reflect on the bystander effect and intervention as well.
This evening, the South Asian Society, the Asian Student Alliance, and QU Creative Writing teamed up to host adopted Korean American poets, a poetry reading and panel discussion. This event featured Lee Herrick, Jennifer Kwan Dobbs, and Julaine Lee, all of whom are authors and poets themselves. Even though this is an event made from different people of different groups, they all have had one goal in mind.
There's some sort of relatability if you bring that to light, because there's some people who are Asian American who are adopted and they don't really have any source of sense of what their culture is like. There's people who find out that they're adopted until later on, and they probably want to find a way to bring light into that, but also have a new journey into finding who they are as also Asian as well.
Students were stationed across the quad today promoting and selling products from their businesses in a pop-up event hosted by the Office of Campus Life and the People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Some of the businesses related to secondhand clothes, photography, and homemade lotions and candles. These pop-up shops have occurred earlier on in the year indoors, but were able to showcase their work outside this time. And with that, we are going to take our first commercial break of the night, but stay tuned because we've got more earthly things to get into.
Plus, we've got some politics to get into, but before we go, Jack, what's the weather looking like?
Ladies, I believe I have the first ever perfect week of weather coming, and it's just in time for graduation pictures. What is it? Stick with us right here at Q30 to find out.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. With Earth Day coming up this Friday, a group of Quinnipiac students from the QU Students from Environmental Actions organization started a week of activities to promote for the advocacy of Earth Day. Here's Lauren with more on the story.
I'm very excited about Earth Day. In case you didn't know, in case anybody didn't know, Earth Day is also my birthday. So not only is it Earth Day, but it's National Low Yarnall Day. So I'm very excited that the university gathers and celebrates the earth because it's something that I'm always very passionate about.
Absolutely. And Lauren has more with Earth Day.
Quinnipiac Students for Environmental Action have conducted a week of events and activities for the advocacy of Earth Day. The events and activities include yoga, basketball, bingo, hiking, guest speakers, and contests. Tuesday night, an event about sustainability was held in the residential halls.
We are doing an event with Residential Life, and it's just an educational event for how to have students moving in for the fall semester or living on campus the upcoming semester more sustainably and more conscious of their choices that they make while living in dorms at Quinnipiac.
Today in the Piazza, there was a series of speakers throughout the day talking about subjects related to environmental sustainability. Kushi spoke about what they want students to take away from these events held this week.
We want students to actually understand how important it is to make decisions that directly impact the climate, and as well to understand how the daily decisions that we make can actually affect so much around us.
Earth Day is this Friday, April 22nd. It was first held in 1970 and has become a staple for environmental advocacy, especially led by groups such as SEA. Reporting live from Quinnipiac University, Lauren Clemens, Q30 News.
On the topic of making the earth a better place, Quinnipiac biology professor Courtney McGinnis won an $18,000 418 grant from the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven to continue investigating pollution in the Quinnipiac River. McGinnis has worked with 12 different students on this project throughout the past 8 years and continues to do more.
We've changed directions a little bit over the last 8 years, and the general health of the river has been pretty clean. And so what we're adding to have sort of evolved from some of the changes that I've seen in the river. And one of those is in just general water quality parameters. And so in addition to looking for the pollutants in terms of the phthalates and the plasticizers, we're also going to be doing some tests for coliform, total coliform and fecal coliform, as well as pH and dissolved oxygen.
Now, Kai, we already covered the latest in Quinnipiac politics with the upcoming SGA election, but now it's time to broaden the scope.
We have Mason Glide live in studio to talk about the biggest news in national politics this week.
Thank you, guys. On Monday, the White House announced they will be hosting the second global COVID-19 summit on May 12th. The event will be co-hosted by Belize, Germany, Indonesia, and Senegal. The meeting, originally scheduled for last month, will occur virtually. The summit will attempt to gain support for vaccine donations and ending what the White House has described as the, quote, acute phase of the pandemic. With COVID-19 case numbers rising in the United States again, the White House released a statement saying, quote, the emergence and spread of new variants like Omicron have reinforced the need for a strategy aimed at controlling COVID-19 worldwide, end quote. The White House announced on Tuesday that a rule requiring federal agencies to consider direct and indirect environmental impacts of their actions has been finalized. This will include considering impacts related to climate change. This ruling reinstates portions of the National Environmental Policy Act repealed by the Trump administration in 2020. This decision marks a major step for the Biden administration in line with their environmental justice priorities. The ruling is intended to go into effect on May 20th, and further changes are expected to be made later this year. On Monday, a federal judge allowed liberal groups to move forward with their plans to disqualify controversial Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene from running for re-election, on the grounds that she assisted in the January 6th insurrection. Because of this ruling, a hearing in front of a Georgia state judge will occur on Friday, where the judge will determine if the Constitution's disqualification clause applies to Greene. This is a Civil War-era clause that states that officials who support an insurrection cannot serve again. Greene has denied any wrongdoing and has called the disqualification campaign an unconstitutional witch hunt. That's all I have for politics this week. Back to you, Lo and Kai.
Thanks, Mason, for giving us that update on what's going on in the political world. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
But when we come back, we have Jack the Weatherman to break down the weather for next week and some national news. Stay tuned.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
We welcome you back into the Q30 Newscast. Lo, it has definitely been a chilly week.
Absolutely, and with graduation season right around the corner, it's more important than ever to plan those cap and gown pictures around some sunny days. Live in studio to talk about what weather we should expect in the coming week, here's Jack Main.
Well, I really do believe that I have the perfect Q30 weather report to give you guys. As Lo mentioned, it is grad season. Everyone's out there taking their pictures on the quad, York Hill, wherever they might be, and we'll get to that. But right now, let's take a look at what's happening around the Nutmeg State. You see right here, 53 in the two big cities in Hartford and New Haven. We move over a little bit east to New London where it's 52, 51 in Norwich and Danbury. Torrington with the low on the evening over at 46, and that's really going to continue to be a theme into the week ahead as we take a look at your extended 7-day forecast right here. You see right here, the nighttime, you're going to see those lows dip into the 40s and even in the 30s tonight. And then, but you see this, look at this. Look at how much sun we have here. Sun tomorrow, sun on Friday, Earth Day and Lo's birthday, mind you, so keep that in mind. And then Saturday, Sunday, perfect weekend up ahead. Monday, another perfect day. And Tuesday is really the only day that we have a chance of rain. You see the highs are steadily going to be increasing throughout the weekend as well. As we head into Monday and Tuesday, we're back into the high 50s. But those lows are still going to be pretty chilly at night. So when you're walking, especially for us, when we walk out of this media suite and we head to our cars over in North Lot, it could be a brisk and chilly one. So keep those jackets on hand until the end of the week. But we got some sunny days ahead of us. So soak it up, Quinnipiac, and go take some nice flicks on the quad.
Thanks, Jack, for all of that beautiful and insightful analysis. In other recent news, CVS has announced all of their Minute clinics will now include mental health services. When customers visit a CVS pharmacy, they now have the option to receive a mental health assessment and referral to a licensed clinical social worker on site. The expansion comes after a study done by CVS Health Harris poll showed that young adults want to talk to someone, and a local pharmacy may be a good place to start.
Always encouraging to hear when a large corporation like CVS is extending those mental health resources in the stores. Sticking with national news, we welcome Katie Cohen live in studio, who has more information from around the country.
Thank you, Lo and Kai. Let's get right into some national news for tonight. Many airlines across the country are dropping their mask mandates after TSA announced masks will no longer be enforced. Alaskan Airlines, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, Frontier Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue Airways, Spirit Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and United Airlines are all dropping the mask mandates. Each airline has their own policies, but masks will now be optional to all travelers on domestic and some international flights. A U.S. district judge from Florida ruled that the federal mask mandate on public transportation is unlawful, which voided the travel mask mandate set in place by the Biden administration. But the Biden administration is still recommending travelers wear their masks while on public transportation. In other news, Netflix reports a 25% plummet in stocks and a loss of 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter of the year amid Russia's decision to wage war on Ukraine. This is the first time the company has reported a decrease in subscribers in more than a decade. Netflix blames this loss to the increase in competition, password sharing, inflation, and the ongoing war in Ukraine. With this decrease in subscribers, Netflix says it is now open to offering lower priced options with advertisements. This comes after CEO Reed Hastings has said he was opposed to advertisements on the platform for years in the past. And finally, Florida lawmakers are targeting Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, for its legal privileges. Disney World currently has a near total control of almost 40 square miles across the theme park. The park is exempt from nearly all state regulations with the exception of taxes and elevator inspections. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis announced the move to attempt to dissolve this right, despite Disney being one of the leading businesses in terms of profit in Florida. DeSantis criticized Disney for its woke views, including requiring employees to wear masks during the pandemic. That is all I have for national news tonight. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Katie. As always, it's always good to know what's going on in the world, especially Disney World. But we do have to take one last commercial break of the night, but don't you worry.
We've got sports coming your way, and we're also going to take a little trip down Whitney Avenue to a place everyone goes Funkles about. See you there.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here.
He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Just a few minutes left, and it's our favorite time of the show as women in sports. Ethan Logue is in studio to bring us the latest in all the sports news. Ethan?
Thank you, Lo, and we'll start tonight on the Diamond. The Quinnipiac softball team split their doubleheader against the Rider Broncs, the top team in the MAC, last Saturday. QU took game one of the doubleheader, winning by a final score of 3-2. Bridget Nasir, Gianna Palmisano, and Carolyn Walker scored the 3 runs for the Bobcats. However, it was Sydney Horan who carried Quinnipiac to the game 1 victory. Horan pitched all 7 innings, allowing just 4 hits and 2 runs on the afternoon, also picking up her 6th win of the season. Game 2 was a different story as the Bobcats fell 2-1. QU couldn't get the offense going, totaling just 3 hits, with the lone run coming off a Kayla Thomas home run. Quinnipiac now sits at 9-21 and will play host to Siena in another doubleheader this Sunday. The Quinnipiac men's lacrosse team traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia for a matchup against the number 6 team in the nation and back-to-back defending national champion Virginia Cavaliers. The Cavaliers proved to the Bobcats why they have won the last 2 national champions, winning the contest by a final score of 21-9. The Bobcats trailed 15-3 at the half, but were able to match the Cavaliers in the second, with both teams scoring 6 times in the second half of the game. Xander Dixon led the way for Virginia, scoring 5 times, while Connor Schellenberger also added 3 goals of his own. The Bobcats will take on St. Bonaventure, the top team in the MAC, Saturday at noon in Hamden. For our final story, we're heading to the ice, where a certain member of the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team inked a professional contract this week. Senior center and captain Wyatt Bongiovanni signed a 2-year entry-level contract with the Winnipeg Jets. The deal will begin in the 2022-2023 season, and Bongiovanni has signed an amateur tryout contract with the Manitoba Moose, the AHL or minor league affiliate to the Jets. In 42 games for the Bobcats this year, the Birmingham, Michigan product totaled 16 goals and added 18 assists for a total of 34 points in his senior campaign. Bongiovanni also became the first player in Quinnipiac history to be named to NCAA's Senior Class Award First Team All-American. That's the latest in QU sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ethan. Now, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for this newscast, and for mine and Kai's, for my first, her second last time on this.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was definitely a great ride so far, but unfortunately it has come to an end. But for all the newscasts in the future, make sure you tune in, same time, same place.
And please be sure to follow our Twitter on Q30 at Q30 TV News and at Q30 News, yes. And our website at Q30.com. Yes. And we'll be back same time, same place next week. So just have a good one and hang in there, Bobcats. See you later.